someone just open sourced a software that lets you see through walls while using your own Wi-Fi signal. No cameras, no infrared, just pure radio waves.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we'll be reacting to creepy and mysterious TikToks that'll make you question everything. If anyone's new out there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it.
Check this out. Someone just open sourced a software that lets you see through walls while using your own Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no infrared, just pure radio waves. It's an open source project, meaning anyone can get it, called RuView, and it was just published on GitHub. It literally turns standard everyday Wi-Fi signals into a low-cost radar system. It uses AI models to analyze something called channel state information. You see, every time a Wi-Fi signal bounces around a room, your body subtly changes those signals because humans are mostly made of water. The AI studies these tiny disturbances and translates them into real-time 3D mapping, meaning they know exactly where you're standing and what you're doing.
Wow.
But it gets even crazier than that. The software doesn't just track your movement. The AI can actually isolate the rhythmic movement of your chest and read your breathing rate and track your heart rate from anywhere. It could be an incredible tool for things like elderly care and search and rescue, but it also means our physical privacy is entirely up for grabs. Would you trust this technology to be inside your house without you knowing?
Right, because nothing says peace of mind quite like turning your home Wi-Fi into its own literal CIA surveillance hub.
The mnemonic array is syncing. Please give it a second. I could ask you some questions about the waiting room. You were in there for 6 minutes.
Oh, no, I definitely was not paying attention.
How many chairs were in the living room?
Three chairs.
Okay, what color?
Brown leather. Ooh, how do I know that? Okay.
What was on the receptionist's desk?
There was a coffee mug with a corgi on it, and the corgi's name was Maya.
And the painting behind her?
It was kind of crooked, like 2 degrees to the right. There was a scratch in the bottom left-hand corner. There was a little table next to her with a magazine on it from October. There were 40 ceiling tiles, and the fire extinguisher on the wall, the inspection on that actually expired in March.
Okay. You can stop.
Oh, shit.
I don't think I can.
Yikes. Could you imagine dating this chick? Good luck ever trying to win an argument with someone who has a literal hard drive as a brain.
So remember this guy, the admiral who went on Fox News, and the whole world was convinced this guy was wearing a mask. I mean, just look at it. You could literally stick your finger through that gap. But Fox News didn't say anything. This guy didn't say anything. But someone finally had him on his show, and they asked him, can you just pull your face a little bit for us? What was going on in that interview? And just listen to what he says.
Admiral, I wanted to bring up this before we even talk about Iran. Everybody, I mean, you broke the internet known as Mask Man. Can you pull on your face or something for me, sir? What was going on there?
Grant, it's just a distraction from the important subject we want to talk about, Iran. And at a time like now, we need to be focused on that problem with the president. He's got a challenge on his hand. Got a short
Admiral, hold on a second. You realize if you answer like that, this is going to send the internet into the stratosphere if you don't tell me what was going on. And you know I love you, and I know you're an American hero, and I don't think you were wearing a mask. But just tell me something so I can let the internet be happy, and then we can move on here.
Grant, the internet's not my problem. Okay, I'm here to talk about Iran.
You believe this?
The internet's going to do what the internet wants to do, and I'll let it be at that. But let's not lose track of what's important here, where we are with Iran.
Hold on, real quick. Can you just give me a tug and then I'll move on? Just
Grant,
one little tug.
No, you're not going to get anything on me. I'm not going to justify any of that stuff.
Just so everyone out there knows, I tried with unlike Fox News, they didn't ask you about it, which was crazy. I think there's like 60 million, 80 million views on this thing. But I'll let you off the hook, Admiral, because you are an American hero. You really are, sir. And I'm having a little fun with you, and I apologize if I put you in a bad spot.
We don't need confirmation. We know it was a mask. It was clear as day. The bigger question is who was behind the mask. If y'all have any theories, please drop them down below.
check this out. So it's a blue moon right now. And for whatever reason, the reflections on my window are creating like 6 other moons, reflections, or bokeh, or whatever you want to call it. It's like lens flares, but usually with lens flares and reflections, if I move one direction, then the flare or the bokeh goes, the other way. Or it keeps going, based on my movement. But this, they're orbiting. They're not like moving away from the lens like lens flares normally do. They're just like orbiting the center object or the main source, the reflection source. I've never seen that. And it just happens to be the blue moon right now. What do you guys think?
Great. Fantastic. The sky is glitching again. Either the moon just spawned teammates or this guy needs to seriously clean his windows.
He stands about 180 feet high. His club's about 120 feet. What's wonderful about the giant is that there's a lot of mystery that surrounds him and lots of questions that we don't have the answers to. The National Trust commissioned some scientists to dig into the ground below the giant and to see if we could date him. So more recently, that process revealed that he was potentially around 700 to 1100 AD, is late Saxon period. We're doing the rechalking at the moment, and the rechalking is basically a process that's happened for many generations. It's a very traditional process.
Is this real?
We dig out the old chalk. As time goes by, the grass sort of grows into the lines, so the lines become a little bit narrower. So it's quite important to sort of dig out those bits of grass to bring the lines back to the width they should be. And then we dig out the old chalk. Next few days, we'll start putting in the new chalk.
So I guess we're just going to completely glaze over the fact that there's a 36-foot erect penis on the side of this hillside. Viagra, reach out. I have ideas.
If you've never heard the dark friends theory, this one is going to mess with your head, because once you hear it, you can't unsee it when watching the show. The question I want to pose to you is, what if there were never actually 6 friends sitting in that coffee shop? What if there was only one woman sitting on a park bench alone, imagining the entire thing in her head? When you watch Friends, there's one character that just doesn't make sense a lot of the times and doesn't fit in with the rest. And it's also the one friend out of the bunch that has an extremely dark background. This is, of course, Phoebe Buffay. A lot of her character is pretty much a mystery, with only getting bits of information throughout the show. What we do know about her is that for a portion of her childhood, she grew up on the streets, as she lost her mother at a young age, and yet somehow a girl who grew up on the streets with no formal education went on to learn multiple languages, and she had moments in the show where she seemed to be a downright genius that just was never used in the proper context. So this theory goes that Phoebe never actually made it out of homelessness. She simply peered into Central Park Cafe and saw a few friends hanging out drinking coffee and pictured herself within that friend group and built an entire story and life within her head. And for the duration of the show, you get 10 seasons inside of Phoebe's twisted imagination. Obviously, this is only a theory, but send this to somebody who loves Friends. And let me know in the comments if you like theories like this, and I'll do some more. Don't forget to like and follow.
Well, maybe this right here is why Phoebe always felt a little off. What do y'all think? Is something like this even a possibility? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys.
Every time it seems that someone tries to make a film about witchcraft, because they try to market it, they have to distort it. It is something that is very, very sacred.
That film, I'm like, this girl's the real deal. I know on the set when I would come by, she'd be reading from the Kabbalah. She was living it.
It's strange to hear this coming from me, because I used to believe that you're born, you live, you die, that's it. But I have witnessed things that have proven different.
Guys, I've got one question. Do we really know what they're subconsciously putting inside these things that we consume in our living rooms every single day? You just heard how serious she was taking her role, and they basically admitted that they used witchcraft in this movie. So ask yourself, how many films like that did he do similar things? She clearly took it serious. She said it's very sacred to her, but we just think it's all entertainment. What are you openly inviting into your home when you watch these things?
AKA, in other words, they didn't hire an actress. They cast a literal witch. This is what you call method acting, but on steroids. And speaking of rituals...
Shakira does to her fans during concerts is not normal, and what happened during this one was even worse than all the others. You can't really feel it through a video, but the entire crowd felt like something was being taken from them, their energy being drained without understanding how. We know Shakira is famous for belly dancing. Everyone thinks it's just entertainment, except that this dance has existed for thousands of years, and it was never originally created to entertain. It's one of the oldest practices used to channel energy, and Shakira performs it in front of millions of people at every show, and the effects are said to be real. During her most disturbing concert, thousands of fans described the exact same feeling, something draining them from the inside, and it's not an isolated case. Every tour, the same testimonies come back. People leaving her concerts completely drained. They say they don't just feel tired, they feel emptied. To understand why she does this, you have to look at Shakira's evolution in the industry, and that's even stranger. The bigger her concerts become, the more powerful she seems to get, as if the energy of the crowd feeds her directly. Every show bigger than the last, every appearance more intense, and the detail that proves all of this is that one day, Beyoncé publicly thanked Shakira. Even though Beyoncé never thanks other artists during ceremonies, it's always everyone else bowing to her. But that day, she made an exception for Shakira.
Look, if Shakira wants to drain my life force, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't care if it's witchcraft. She can belly dance in front of me for as long as she likes.
Okay, so alarms are going off and the rooster's going nuts. What is that?
It's probably that coyote.
Right there.
What is it?
What the heck?
Fuck.
Is that that coyote?
No.
That's not a coyote.
Is this real?
That's a fucking person.
Is it?
Where's the dog?
Wow.
You said I'm getting the shotgun.
Well, you better go now.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck is that?
I don't know. There's the dog. Why is she in her freaking pen?
Look.
What the?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god. Yeah, but you see where it's standing?
Yeah, it's looking in the window at you.
It's at our window. What?
It's a good way to get shot in the face.
Mm-mm.
And the dog's just staring.
So why is the damn dog not barking?
Interesting.
Oh my god.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, guys. I feel like they had me right up until I saw the dog silent. What do y'all think? Drop a 1 down below if you think it's real, or a 2 if you think it's just AI.
I just learned something kind of crazy about numbers. Okay, so if you take any number at all above 9, and you add up the digits that are in that number, and then you take that number and subtract it from the original number, and then add up those digits, the answer will always be 9. So use the number 55 for an example. So you add up 5 plus 5 equals 10. You take that 10 and subtract it from 55, and you get 45. And then 4 plus 5 equals 9.
What?
Number 83. 8 plus 3 is 11. 83 minus 11 is 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. It's not just double-digit numbers. It works with however many digits you want. I'll use 5,672. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2 is 20. 5,672 minus 20 is 5,652. 5 plus 6 is 11. Plus 5 is 16. Plus 2 more is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Isn't that so weird? It doesn't matter which number you choose. As long as you follow those steps, the answer is always 9.
You know what I want to know? Who goes around doing all of these problems and equations to find out that this even works? Like, tell me you have no life without actually saying you have no life.
Scientists may have just found a way to test whether DMT entities are real. When people take a high dose of DMT, they meet beings. apparently autonomous, intelligent, and behaving in ways that are completely unpredictable, and they consistently describe them as more real than real. Science has generally dismissed it as a hallucination, the brain running unconstrained, generating imagery of autonomous beings from noise. But a new preprint from neuroscientist Andrew Gillimore, cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman, and mathematician Nif Hermanson suggests otherwise. Their argument starts with Hoffman's framework called conscious realism, in which reality is made entirely of interacting conscious agents, and what we call the physical world is just our species-specific interface with that network. It built us to see reality usefully, not necessarily to see it accurately. Like icons on a desktop, they're useful and functional, but they don't show you what's happening inside the computer, which means most conscious agents in the network are simply invisible to us, because our interface was never designed to perceive them. The paper proposes that DMT perturbs that interface enough to push consciousness outside its normal range into regions where traces of normally imperceptible agents can suddenly be rendered as stable, coherent experience. The mathematics on this predicts three things: that you'd experience these beings as having more dimensions than normal, that the beings would appear to have godlike capabilities from your perspective, even if those capabilities are routine from theirs, and that they behave with genuine autonomy that you couldn't have generated yourself, which is exactly what people report.
Imagine your doctor writing you a prescription to visit another dimension. Guys, at this point, I don't even want to know what they're going to validate next.
We are under attack. What just happened in Boston is happening everywhere. These crazy explosions that are happening, that are shaking entire buildings for hundreds of miles, like a 100-mile radius, if not more. So we'll come right back to what just happened in Boston. Yesterday in South Carolina, there was this crazy explosion, but it wasn't just an explosion. Entire houses were shaking all over the state. People tried to say it was a sonic boom from military aircraft or an earthquake. But guess what? They checked with the USGS, it was not an earthquake. They checked with the military, it was none of their stuff either. It was just this crazy boom that shook it was shaking, y'all. When that happened, I knew that something would, like, you could feel it, right? You could feel that something was up. Fast forward to today, the same thing just happened in Boston, and you could feel it in all of Boston. High-rise buildings, the entire things are shaking. And you can hear that right here. They're now trying to claim it was a meteor because one video saw a light in the sky. I don't buy it. I think it's also strange it's happening with the disclosure day and the UFO files. Mark my words, you heard it here first. It's gonna happen again in a different state within 24 to 48 hours. Save this video, you'll see.
Oh, it's not over yet. NASA just said they're expecting 15,000 more of these to follow this week alone. Meanwhile, Florida is quite literally blowing up. Roll it.
Holy, the explosion in Florida is wild.
What the fuck? No. Dude, what the fuck?
So what you are seeing right now is staggering footage of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket engulfed in flames after a failed hot fire test. Now, it completely lit up the sky, which you could see from almost 200 miles away. But this is actually a bigger setback for NASA than you might think, because it was just this week that they announced that Blue Origin was the private company that had won the contract to help them construct the $20 billion base on the moon. And then this happens in the same week. Now, somewhat surprisingly, given the size of the explosion, no one was injured, thankfully, and everyone is safe.
Meteors in Beantown, sonic booms in the Carolinas, and now we have rockets exploding in Florida. Are we actually buying this official story, or is there something going on they're not telling us?
No way, listen to this.
Hey, what you say gonna happen? Worldwide earthquake, July 15th at 6 p.m. Judgment begins at the house of God, August the 29th at 6 p.m. Jesus Christ returns to judge the world and end it. You have been warned.
Come on, man.
Come here. And what's gonna happen though? Worldwide earthquake.
Who is that?
What do you know what today's day is? Yes, I do. What it is? The 23rd. Of what? Of May. And what's gonna happen? July the 15th at 6 p.m. How many days left? 52. Alright. Hey, yeah. Well, you an angel. Angel sent you down here to tell me that.
Who's that guy talking like that?
A bum?
He said July 15th at 6 p.m. is going to be a worldwide earthquake. I don't know who that guy is, and to be honest with you, I don't believe him. Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purpose only. Maybe that's a skit, because I don't believe that at all. Shut up. Listen to me. You heard what he said at the end. How would that guy know that? Could it be that was an angel on Earth? He looked serious. He didn't look like he was joking. Something's going on out here, guys, and I know nothing about it. Stop playing with me, son. I came out here, guys. You know what time is it? Stop. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever see somebody that tells me that's going to happen on the same date at the same time, where you going to be at so I can meet up with you?
Listen, guys, it's not that deep. You can walk up to any homeless person, wave a 20 in front of them, and they'll tell you their princess died. That don't necessarily make it true, so there's that.
We have in Lockheed right now, there are craft that can go to Mars in a few hours. They have a lot of corporate facilities in California. I know a guy who has been to one of these facilities. Supposedly, there is this shack on the side of a highway, and the whole floor of the warehouse is an elevator, and it drops Lord knows how many hundreds of feet, and you're inside of a facility carved out of rock, deep underground. What this guy said is that they are not only reverse engineering craft from retrieved debris, but they're actually training pilots to fly them. And he told me that the main problem that they have is that the pilots experience extreme disorientation because of the warping of space-time by these craft. In other words, they discovered early on that these are not simply devices with propulsion systems capable of navigating space very quickly. They're flying time machines. They warp time as they traverse space. And our pilots don't know how to handle that.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. He completely lost me at I know a guy. Let's be real. That's not a source. That's called a red flag.
Yes, the government, the United States government, since 1945, before Roswell, there was a crash in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and we have retained and stored in various states of storage, whether it be cryogenic or deep freeze, or in the 40s, which would be a formaldehyde. We have and still have to this date alien extraterrestrial bodies at around 10 to 12 facilities around the country, and I can name them if you'd like.
Why don't you just show us?
Take it to the bank. The United States government has and does have these bodies, has examined them, and as my bizarre 3-minute film that I've been researching has shown, has interrogated for long-term purposes and long-term use actual living extraterrestrial entities. And this hasn't been one person. My colleague, Dr. Stephen Greer, has over 700 witnesses that have testified to the Legacy program, and about 200 witnesses that have gone on record, testimonial, signed affidavits, where they have actually touched, saw, recovered, autopsied, interrogated extraterrestrial living beings. This phenomenon is real, and I told you weeks ago, Anita, the world and the people of my hometown, people of Chicago, need to prepare for the shock that's coming.
Ah, yes, the classic trust me bro source strikes again. They love telling us they got aliens tucked away, but always seem to forget the receipts or a clear photo.
Nobody talks about the time when young Leo DiCaprio had some wild theories.
This is confidential, but the Mona Lisa here isn't really the Mona Lisa.
So over 30 years ago, DiCaprio reveals why he thinks the Mona Lisa in the Louvre is fake.
Supposedly some guys really stole it and it's like a replica because they have it like this behind this little thin piece of glass, and I'm like, you know, I could have just gone in there and taken it home, put it under my jacket.
Then Leo connects the dots in the funniest way possible.
But I'll believe it just for the sake that, you know, I have the same name as Da Vinci.
Check out young Leo, the conspiracy theorist, before Hollywood got their hooks into him. I gotta be honest, I like this version of him way better than what he actually turned into.
These are two separate incidents, very similar in nature, that happened around the same time, but police say it's not clear if they're related. A large response in Williamsburg. The NYPD K-9 unit, FDNY, and Department of Environmental Protection investigate a sewer at Bedford Avenue and Hayward Street after cameras spotted about 8 men entering the manhole around 1 o'clock Friday morning and reappearing around 3:40 a.m. Neighbors just as curious to find out what was happening. Around 11 o'clock Thursday night, the same thing happened in Gravesend, 8 miles away.
They show the people climbing in, climbing out, changing their clothes.
About 7 men climbed into the manhole on McDonald Avenue in Collin Place. They spent 3 hours in the sewer and emerged at 2 a.m.
They get out, they get in a car, they drive away.
Neighbors were alerted when investigators showed up Friday to canvass the area. They were told not to worry.
They climbed in the manholes, they searched, they went up and down the block, and lo and behold, they tell us they dropped their keys. I don't believe anyone dropped keys.
A DEP spokesperson says the sewers have been inspected and the infrastructure is safe. They warn it's not only illegal to enter, it's also dangerous, as sewers can contain numerous hazards, including noxious and potentially deadly gases, unstable surfaces, flooding risks, and confined spaces. Councilmember Suzanne Schwang, who covers Gravesend, agrees it should not be taken lightly and commends the NYPD on their swift response and confirmation everything is safe. But not everyone is convinced all is well.
They just say, no, it's fine. It's not fine.
Still a lot of speculation as to what happened, but there is no confirmation as to exactly why these men entered the sewer system.
Oh, please. We all know who's going down there. The big question is, what the hell are they doing down there? If y'all have any theories, please, guys, drop them down below.
Y'all, this guy caught a shark when him and his friends went fishing on the beach. Group got together to take a photo, and they ended up catching something else in the photo on their fishing trip. In the photo of the group of guys together, there's a little girl standing off to the side. Where the little girl came from, they have no idea. She wasn't there the whole time they were there.
Weird.
It was just the four men. The man taking the photo, the man who caught the shark, his two other friends. Said the whole time they were on the beach, there was nobody there. It was just them. And if you look, the beach is actually gated off too. But if you look closely at the little girl, she's also almost translucent and gray. And she's just staring at the man who caught the shark. She almost looks upset. When you zoom in, you can really tell that this is not a person. This is for sure an apparition because it's in like that grayscale. It makes you wonder, maybe she's the reason that this beach is gated off. Maybe she lost her life there or something. The photo definitely gives off a very dismal, like upsetting vibe. So what do you guys think? Let me know.
Yikes. Imagine going through vacation photos and accidentally realizing that a grayscale apparition ghost child was crashing your trip.
Guys, the same exact people who were behind the COVID vaccine are now rushing out a brand new one for Ebola, and they want it in people within months. The World Health Organization just admitted themselves that Ebola is now spreading faster than they're able to contain it. And since there's still no vaccine for this strain specifically, a team of scientists are now trying to use the same exact tech that they used during COVID to make a vaccine for Ebola. It is still spreading every single day with over 1,200 cases. Uganda has now closed their border, and Kenya just activated their own response plan in a desperate attempt to get ahead of it before it's worse.
Reported cases of Ebola now surging above 1,000 in Central Africa. A team of U.S. health officials now racing to Kenya to set up a treatment facility for Americans exposed to the virus.
The World Health Organization also just actually raised the risk level to very high, which is the highest risk category that they even have. They're having trouble keeping it contained right now because it's spreading through a part of Congo that is basically in a war zone. The people there don't trust the doctors, and health workers and clinics are literally getting attacked almost every single day. So that's insane. The real question is, would you guys get the vaccine?
Oh, hell no. Absolutely not. I did not take the first shot, and you definitely won't catch me taking this next one either. I am no test monkey, and neither is my family.
This is why you should never buy glitter again. So the main glitter manufacturer company is called GlitterX. And an investigative journalist went from the New York Times to do an article about it. And there were a lot of top secret spots in the factory that they couldn't go to. There's a worldwide shortage of glitter, so Chris went to ask one of the higher ups, what's going on? Why is there a shortage? What's happening? He asked for a real tour of the factory, and the guy said, absolutely not. You cannot come on a real tour. We don't do real tours. And he said that you absolutely cannot see the glitter being made. He even said that you can't go to a room nearby and hear how it's being made. He said that even the companies that are their main clientele don't have access to these rooms and are not allowed to know exactly how the glitter is being made.
Why?
But it's really suspicious that no one is even allowed to hear it being made. Now, the company that is the largest consumer for glitter was asked what it is, and she said, I can't even tell you. And someone asked, they said, if we looked at the product that you use to make glitter, would we know that it turns into glitter? And she said, no, not really. She said, they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter. Do you believe all of this?
Can I do it now? Habari, naitwa Rita. Mimi ni mshariki namba 2 saba moja. Nafurahi sana kuwa hapa. Niko hapa kwa hiari yangu mwenyewe. The device uses vibration to calibrate your vocal musculature to the phonetic patterns of any language you select. It's like your throat already knows how to make every sound. They're calling it the Rosetta module, and I'm the 9th person to try it out. I cried the first time. They haven't found a limit yet.
I don't know what they did to her, but it seems like they turned her into a real-life, walking, talking, humanoid AI agent. I only need English, guys, so I'm good. That's all I got for this one. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe button. Fam, we're going for 200,000 subscribers this year. Go sub. The members group is open. Come join, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.